Alright, people, I'm back. This is going to be Sex Game, and we're going to be doing something different today. My camera cut off, so I have to do the video all over again. I can't stand when my camera cuts off the first time, but we're going to do it again because I want it to be a fully fledged video. It's the name of the title. It's going to blow you away because it's a new breaking video. When I do new breaking videos, they generate lots and lots of views. The name of the title is going to be called Sex Game: How to Fix Star Wars with a question mark. Now, a lot of you going to be spending out your Coca-Cola, your Pepsi, your Mountain Dew, your Sprite, your 7-Up, your apple juice, your orange juice, your tea, your coffee, your water, whatever it is that you drink during the day. And a lot of you going to be saying, Alex, you're a great YouTuber, you're popular, I might watch your videos, I might subscribe, I might comment, but dude, there's no fixing Star Wars. Actually, there is a way to fix Star Wars, but not in the way that you think. And I'm going to give you 5 reasons on how you can fix Star Wars in today's cinematic universe with movies. Now, the first thing that if you want to fix Star Wars, you got to bring back Darth Vader. You got to bring back Anakin Skywalker. You got to bring back the Chosen One, the one who brought the balance back to the Force. Not bring Anakin Skywalker or Darth Vader back in cameos, not in flashbacks, but literally, figuratively, really bring Anakin Skywalker back. There's a book called Darth Vader, The Rise of Darth Vader. It's a graphic novel. There's even comic books. And all you have to do is make a Darth Vader anthology film. People will line up to see that film. That would probably gross, if not $1 billion, it probably would gross anywhere between $250 to $290 million if you make a Darth Vader standalone film. All you gotta do is get someone like Steven Spielberg as executive producer, George Lucas as executive producer, two of the world's best filmmakers in the world. Get Steven Spielberg and George Lucas as executive producers. You can have a Disney executive. And then if you want someone to direct, you can bring in someone like Peter Jackson. Peter Jackson is good at making trilogies. So you can bring Peter Jackson, who did Lord of the Rings and The Hobbits, you bring him in to do a Darth Vader standalone film. Make the Darth Vader movie 2 hours and 20 minutes. You don't need no 3.5 hour movie. You don't need no 4.5 hour movie for a Darth Vader film. All you need is 2 hours and 20 minutes of a Darth Vader standalone film. And you can make the story about the Emperor sending the Darth Vader 10 planets in the galaxy to hunt down the last remaining Jedis that escaped Order 66. And you don't have to show the Emperor as much. You can show the Emperor on the big screen for about 5 to 10 minutes, and that's all you really need. We don't need the Emperor throughout the whole entire film. Show him for about 5 to 10 minutes, and that's good. Even better than that, you can show the Emperor the first 5 minutes of the beginning of the movie and the last 5 minutes of the ending of the movie. So you can show the Emperor for at least 5 to 10 minutes. So we see the Emperor, but he's not throughout the whole film. More important than that, you make the movie about Darth Vader in his prime. What I loved about Star Wars Rogue One, a Star Wars story, we didn't just see Darth Vader, we saw Darth Vader in his prime, okay? This was Vader in his prime. Vader was badass. I liked it, that version of Vader. And you could revisit that. All you have to do is go back into the Star Wars timeline, go back to after Revenge of the Sith and before the original trilogy, and you can make a movie called Star Wars: The Rise of Darth Vader, and just make it 2 hours and 20 minutes. This movie would be so epic, so badass, that if it doesn't make $1 billion, it can make anywhere between 250 to $290 million. People will tune up to see a Darth Vader standalone movie. Somewhere in the movie, you can introduce Star Killer. Like, you don't have to actually go off the base of the comic book. Like, he doesn't have to be a 10-year-old kid. You can make him like he's a teenager or a young adult who's a slave trying to escape from another planet. And you can have it where Darth Vader has flashbacks to when Qui-Gon Jinn saved him from being a slave, and he sees some force potential in Star Killer, and he takes him on as a secret apprentice. The Emperor sends Darth Vader on suicide missions ever since he failed against Obi-Wan Kenobi. You could actually throw in Obi-Wan Kenobi in the movie and have it to where Obi-Wan, you can see what his progress was after Revenge of the Sith. Like, you can show it where he's watching over Luke Skywalker. So you see Luke, you see Obi-Wan. They don't have to be throughout the whole entire movie. If you want, you can have it to where Vader's killing the last remaining Jedis throughout the galaxy, and Obi-Wan Kenobi and Yoda feels this powerful disturbance in the Force. They don't know who is it coming from, but they know there's a disturbance in the Force. So you see Obi-Wan, you see Luke, not too much of them. You hear Yoda, not too much of Yoda. And you have it where it's about Vader basically on suicide missions. And Vader wants to get revenge on the Emperor for lying to him about he could achieve immortality to save Padme. Like, you could play around with that. And then you don't have to bring in Dark Plagueis. All you got to do is get a ancient Sith. Have Darth Vader run into an ancient Sith in the middle of the film who's a secret ancient evil. And you have it where he keeps that a secret to himself and he doesn't tell it to the Emperor. And it makes Star Killer his secret apprentice to help him take out the Emperor, which sets up for the next movie. So after Darth Vader gets his film, if Darth Vader's film breaks $1 billion, if not, it can estimate $250 to $290 million. You make the next film. The second film could be called Star Wars Star Killer. You can kind of go off the basis of the video game Star Wars The Force Unleashed 1 and 2, and you make it where it's not Darth Vader's movie, it's Vader teaching him the ways of the dark side. And you can kind of play around with that mythology. You can take the concept, here's a person that's in the dark, but decides to come into the light. Like, we always see people in the light go to the dark. You can make a movie where someone is in the dark side, and all of a sudden they're changed by the light of the Force. That could be that second movie. Then you make a third film in the trilogy. Each movie is about a different character. You make this one. You call this one Star Wars The Legend of Dark Raven. You could take the trailer, right? You can make it where you can go to Kylo Ren. You can say a time before Kylo Ren. You can say there's a time before Darth Vader. And then you can say there's a time before Darth Maul. Before these three, you had Dark Raven. And you can actually make a movie out of that. You could make 3 Star Wars anthology films. And they would all come close to making $1 billion. That's how you could fix Star Wars. And then you don't have to necessarily bring back original characters. And the reason why I say 3 movies is because the key to fixing the franchise is you bring back the guy that everybody loves the most, Darth Vader. You give him his own film first. It'll be greatly appreciated with the fans. You make the second movie about Star Killer, and in the third movie, you bring in Dark Raven. Now, I know some people are going to say, what about female characters? Okay, you can bring in some female characters. There are female characters that Darth Vader does recruit in that universe. There's Lady Lomaya. There's the girl that would later marry Luke Skywalker, Mara Jade. So that you could bring in some female characters and they can be done right. All you got to do is get George Lucas and Steven Spielberg to be executive producers. You bring in Peter Jackson just to direct the first movie, which would be Darth Vader. And then if you want to bring J.J. Abrams back to do the second or the third movie, then you can. I'm just trying to tell you that there is a way to fix Star Wars in today's medium. That's how you fix Star Wars. Now, if you don't want to turn those into 3 movies, there's another idea, which brings me to number 2, television. If you couldn't make Darth Vader into a film, or films, then why not give us a Darth Vader made-for-television series? And you can even do Disney Stream if you wanted to. People will still watch it because it's Darth Vader. and you still can have that same story concept. He goes across the galaxy to 10 different planets to hunt down the last remaining Jedis that escaped Order 66. Because when you watch the original trilogy, you have to wonder how many other Jedis escaped and how come Darth Vader is still hunting people in that trilogy. And you could actually come up with the idea, if you want to get out of the hole, you would make a Darth Vader movie and people will watch it. It will save you a great deal of trouble. And I'm talking about if you can't make it. And then if you want to make an Obi-Wan Kenobi movie, you can. That's option number 3. Option number 4 is, if you can't do any of those characters, you could go back into the expanding universe and make it where, okay, we want to make one about a female character. That's where you could use Mara Jade, where somehow, some way, Anakin Skywalker could kind of pop up as a Force ghost to give her some pointers, or you can have Luke come in, and you can kind of go back to the time period before the Jedi Order was recreated, that he met this girl, and he trained this girl in the ways of the Force. You can kind of do a before there was Rey type of scenario. So there's that concept. Now, number 5. Number 5 is, you could just make it about Star Wars: The Knights of the Republic. Because you can go back to the beginning and explain how the Jedis and the Sith were created. Like, how did a Sith become a Sith? How did a Jedi become a Jedi? These are all concepts that could actually work in film or in television. That's how Star Wars can get fixed. Now, some people might say if Kevin Feige comes on board and does any one of these 5 ideas, they'll be great. They'll be fantastic. Now, do I think we'll have something different when he does Star Wars? Most definitely. Now, I didn't make this video because I heard he was going to do his Star Wars. I made this because people have said Star Wars is broken and it's destroyed. And I'm saying there's a way to fix it despite of all of that. Now, some people might say, should George Lucas buy it back? I'm sure that somewhere in 2021 or 2023, there might be talks of him buying it back. But he would have to pay a whole lot of money for it. So, if you're a Star Wars fan and you like this video, you will subscribe to this video, you will comment to this video, you will like this video. If you have better ideas than I have, you can put the ideas in the comment section. Until next time, peace.